Welcome back to part 2 of this ski bike build. Let's get this thing done. We're going to start with getting the shocks mounted to the swing arm and get this mount braced up. We'll have to gusset here and probably some sort of bracing on both sides to keep it nice and solid. I'm not sure if this whole thing is going to work or not, but we'll see. So let's get these brackets cut up and welded on here. Alright, support braces tacked in. Let's give us some strength for our shock mount, linear and lateral. So we'll final weld that up completely, and then we'll move on to chains and sprockets to make this thing move. So we got the sprocket chain on there. I'm actually going to weld it here, and these don't have set keys, but they're a hole through hole, so I'll drill a hole all the way through them both of our strength. But I do need to make a little spacer here to keep everything aligned, so we'll do that right now. Make the spacer and then get this welded on. Then we can drill this hole. Then we'll move to the other side over there, get something put on that side. Alright, got the sprocket welded to the shaft, bolt run through, drill the bolt through, a little spacer there. Looks good there, chain looks aligned correctly. And on this side here, same type of principle, except for we're going to, here's our spacer here. We've got a weldable sprocket and collar here that I picked up, so we'll weld those together, cut the shaft off here. We'll actually end up cutting a keyway into this shaft here. This is keyed here, and then down, and then same situation like we did on this sprocket here. We'll weld it to the drive shaft and put a bolt through it, a little extra insurance, and then we'll move on with getting all the chains tightened, and we should be at that point ready to start working magic on the motor, getting it hooked up to the throttle and such. But let's get this done first. Be back shortly. Okay, we'll call the chains done. I'll clean up this mess here. Clean up this, cut the keyway down a little bit. So now we're going to move on to, there's a little bit of work to be done back here on the swing, in the where the track is, some spacers and stuff I want to get done, and then we'll move to the motor. Foot peg time, I guess we'll call it. Theory is, got a piece of plate here, or a box, is got actually 2 of them, and it'll end up being welded underneath here like this. Something like that. But I do want to get this to drop down just a little bit, you know, and come down like this a little bit. So what I'm going to do is pie cut both sides and then pie cut again, so get one of these going on. Do that twice, get them underneath here, be separated, and then I'm thinking like some sort of a foot shaped gritty textured material that you put your feet in for a little bit of grip. So my theory is, so let's try that. So let's do some pie cutting and some welding. clean up those joints and weld them together, and then make our next set of pie cuts and weld those up. Alright, I will fix all my welds using the grinder, and then we'll get them welded to the actual bike. Alright, so the theory will be, these go like this. Well, there's two of them, so something like this. Keep them separated a little bit, but not covering up the adjustment slots for the bolt, for the motor mounts, and then some sort of foot thingies out here to put your feet on. So let's get these welded to the actual bike, and at that point we'll start planning this. But I think next we'll do the throttle and the brake. We'll get the brake hooked up next. Alright, it's tacked up. I'll flip it up, put a few more tacks on the top side. Then we'll move on to, let's do brakes. Brakes will be next. Alright, the brakes cable hooked up. So you can just, pulley, brakey, stoppy. So that'll work just fine. So let's get onto the throttle here. These aren't the bars I'm going to be using. We'll be using a different set of handlebars, BMX style bars to be taller, so we're not leaning over when we're riding it. So let's make some throttle brackets, see what we're dealing with over here. So the throttle arm here, figure out which direction it's pulling from. I don't really want to deal with the governor, but maybe we'll hook that up. I don't know. Let's look and see. So with the throttle, just a couple of quick little bracket there, little 90 bracket there, little bracket back here for spring return. Yeah, I cheated and just used the governor arm as a pivot point for the throttle. But what we got now is we got throttle. So that'll work for, I don't know, trying. We'll see how it does. It may have to change. We'll see. Just was very simple to do it that way. So let's, I mean, literally that's other than the fuel line, piece of fuel line to the carburetor and some oil, it should be ready to move, but let's get something to put our feet on. So that'll be the final step in the build. Oh yeah, we still have to get handlebars yet too, so I mean, we could probably try with these, but I'll have to dig some handlebars out. So next is someplace to put your feet. So here's what we're thinking for foot pegs, I guess, or foot something to put your feet on. Something like this. I'll cut these off, weld the corners together, fab them in here somehow, little brace these out, and then use this metal mesh stuff here before you put your feet for traction. So when you slip off the pegs or off the foot, you can tear your shin to pieces. So that's the plan. Let's cut and weld some stuff and see if it's gonna work. Alright, we'll now take a section out of here and then weld it into the actual frame of the bike and see if that's going to work. I think something like that'll work, right? Just you know, maybe I run a brace off of here and off of here or something in the middle here or something. I don't know. And probably out here, and then put a piece of this stuff over the top of it and call that a foot peg. So I don't know. Let's weld it up. Alright, here's what we ended up with. This stuff, that's not going to work. It's not weldable by me and my current shitty skill set of welding. And so, pretend that didn't happen. But this is enough to, I guess, give us a test ride. It's enough to put your feet on there. There's got to be something on there, some sort of rubber mat thing, or maybe cut an old tire tread up or something. I don't know, figure something out. But at this point, fuel line, and we'll see if the engine runs, and we're going for a test ride. Well, before we take it out for its maiden voyage, let's discuss potential failure points, other than all of it. Motor will eliminate as a failure problem. It's an old Honda GX, it'll run, that's not an issue. But biggest one, will it steer? That's what seems there. Not sure how the steering is going to work, how well it's going to work. That's a potential failure. Gear ratio. Yeah, gear ratio is definitely a potential failure. I don't know if it's going to be too high, too low. I have no idea. We just eyeballed it and guessed it with sprocket we had laying around, but that potential could be a problem. Traction. I don't know how this is going to work back here. That could be a potential fail. But nevertheless, we're going to give her hell and see what happens. So let's take her out for a maiden voyage and see what happens. What the hell? No, 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 no. Shit. So in the previous conversation we had regarding potential failures, we did find a pretty major one, which happened to be the motor on the bike the wrong direction. So unfortunately the track was going backwards. I didn't videotape the fix because it was just a long rant of curse words and flying tools and bent metal and unhappiness, tears, curled up in a fetal position. But nevertheless, we got it fixed. Got it back to the way it was, the right way. And because, as you can see, I painted it with some gloss paint, so it's almost as if it never happened. So now that we got that straightened out, the previous expectations or possible concerns with failure points is still, will it steer? Is the gear ratio right? And does anything else on it work like it's supposed to? So let's take her out for a test drive and see what happens. So off camera, took it for a little bit of a test spin, and it's extremely underpowered. That is becoming a problem. So what I did was I took this particular gear off of here and upgraded it to a bigger one. So let's take it out for a spin and see if that makes it any better. Definitely way underpowered. Could hardly move the thing. Alright, that didn't, as you can see in the video, that didn't help. It helped, but not enough. So now what we're doing is we took this guy off of here to the motor, and we're going to replace it with this one here, on here, and see if that, I don't know, hopefully helps something. That should, I don't know, triple my ratio. So, yeah. Should have done some more research on that motor, but it is what it is, and we're going to deal with it. Alright, so we've significantly increased the gear ratio, obviously, on both drive lines. So that should give us enough torques to move this thing along with me on it. So let's take it out and take it for another quick test spin and see what happens. We'll have to actually remake this chain cover that I made, so I'll probably do that before I take it out, just so I don't eat my pants or my leg through that chain. So otherwise, let's test drive it. Alright, first off, some explanation of why it runs so much better now than it did the previous video is I removed some, I don't know, carburetor spacer jankiness and replaced it with all of the original Honda spacer and air cleaner assembly. I'm assuming that the spacer was some of our problem. That's why it wouldn't rev. So that's in there. That works good. So we'll call the video or the run a success, the build a success, with a few exceptions. One thing is a little too shallow of a gear, and I need more top speed and less lower end. Wasn't traveling too fast as you see in the video, so we could change the gear ratio. I expected I was going to adjust it a little bit, but well, you know, it worked fine. It steered fine. It ran good. It was pretty comfortable to ride. So we're going to call this video closed out. Thanks for watching. See you soon.